Hey guys, it's Ashley. So today I'm going to do 10 ideas of what you can do with Jesus during the coronavirus. So stick with me and hear what I have to say. All right, so I'm really excited about this video, and I'm very passionate because this all has to do with the secret place. And if you haven't known me very long, you'll get to know that I'm very passionate about the secret place. And the secret place is talked about in Psalms 91. In simplicity, the secret place is your one-on-one time with God. And it talks about dwelling in that secret place. We are to dwell with that one-on-one time with God. And so what can that look like? Obviously, being in the Bible is a huge way to have that one-on-one time with God. But for us to dwell with God, for us to remain in that one-on-one conversation, there are many things you can do with Him to dwell with that secret place, to dwell with that one-on-one time with God. And so I thought of 10 that you can do specifically during the coronavirus. I do want to just continue to encourage everyone with what's going on. I have a feeling that a lot of us, it's not just the coronavirus. I think there's a lot of us going through a lot of other things in the midst of the coronavirus, which then adds just the intensity of the season that we're in. But I want to encourage you that God is coming through. He knows what's going on. He is not surprised by what's going on. And so with the coronavirus, He will be bringing an end to it. And then with the personal things that you're going through, He is giving you strength and wisdom to be walking through what you're going through personally too, okay? He is alive. He is present, okay? So with that said, let's get to our top 10. If you want me to go in depth with any of these, if you want me to elaborate with any of these, let me know, because I'm just going to give you a quick overview. But comment below if you want me to go in depth. If you know me personally, you can shoot me a text or an email, and I would love to go in depth with any of these. So the first one, I think, is one of the most important ones, because we might not be able to do any of the other 9 until the first one is done. So the first one is Jesus as counselor. Okay, and all of these will be on the bottom. I'll list all these on the bottom. So number 1 is something that you can do with Jesus during this time is literally have Jesus as your counselor. He is mentioned as counselor in Isaiah 9:6. And I definitely have used Jesus as counselor these past few weeks. And what it looks like for me is I do a lot of journaling, and you don't have to journal, you can just speak out with your voice. But I literally am like, okay, God, I sit down, it's as if He's right there, and I just vent. I pour my heart out to Him. I'm sharing to Him my concerns. I'm just processing with Him. And that's what you do in a counseling session, right? But this time we're going to have Jesus as counselor. So I'm going to encourage you, if you just need that time to just express your heart and your concerns, take that time. And after you let those things out, then wait to see what He has to say. A lot of times after I've shared my feelings and thoughts, I then ask God, what do you say about what I just got done telling you about? What do you say? And He does answer me, and I know He'll answer you, okay? So that is tip 1. Have Jesus as your counselor. Tip 2 would be pick a theme to study on with Jesus. A lot of us are going to have some extra time on our hands. And so I would encourage you, what is something that you want to study? Okay? For example, do you want to study about the millennial reign? That's when Jesus will be coming back, and He'll be reigning on earth with His saints, which are you and I. Do you want to study about the end times? The end times, what's going to happen before you come back? What's it going to look like, God? That could be something you'd want to study. Maybe you want to study about the prophetic. That would be hearing God's voice. So in simplicity, the prophetic, you'll hear me use that word. That's just simply hearing God's voice in a situation. Do you want to study about that? There's many things you could study about a specific person in the Bible. I once took time and I studied about Paul's life. So think about what excites you, what do you want to know more about, and then take that theme and then study it. Study it in your Bible, go on the internet, Google, different people that have maybe written on the subject. Be careful with that one. You want good sources. I can always help with that too. Some names real quickly that you could sit under with almost every subject that I mentioned. Mike Bickle is good for end times and millennial reign. The Prophetic, Bill Johnson is good. Chris Valentin is good. Those are just a few names just to get you going. But you do want to study under someone who knows what they're talking about. But yes, find a theme and study about it. And I have found a lot of breakthroughs and excitement, in my inner being when I've done that. So another idea, 3, now this one's a little more light. You can organize or clean your house with Jesus. Sometimes we get a little like, whoa, I can't study anymore. I need to change my pace. Bring Jesus with you when you clean the house or when you organize. Put on some worship music and be like, all right, God, what's the first room we're going to do? And just talk with him and just have fun when you clean and organize. Maybe you want to organize a closet. Be like, all right, Jesus, it's time to organize this closet. It's time to organize my documents on my computer, or organize my photos on my phone. Just find something you want to do. Organize your clothes in your closet, and bring them with you. Be like, all right, God, how should we do this? How should we organize? What documents should I keep on my computer? What should I not keep? Just bring them with you. I know I do that a lot, and I really love that. Tip number 4 is pray for our nation with Jesus. Now, what I've done is I created a special book or journal just for praying over America, and this gets me inspired to actually then pray for America, because I have a book that's just for America, and sometimes I add stickers to it and things to just to get me excited, because sometimes I can get a little I don't know, sometimes praying for America can be I'm like, well, what do I pray, or how do I do this? And so when I had a special journal, things just seemed to flow more, and it got me more inspired to do this. And so we could do obviously another video just on praying for America, but praying for protection over America, praying for our president, praying for just the people in our nation to keep their eyes on the Lord. I mean, there's many things that we can pray. If you want me to do a video on it, I will. I'll touch home a little bit on praying for America in my next video when I'm talking about fear, so you can keep your eyes open for that too. So number 5, something you can do with Jesus is do a project with him. What's a project you can do in your house? Maybe it's an art project or some type of craft or woodworking, or maybe you're a guy and you like to make fishing lures, or I don't know what you like to do, but you could be a girl making fishing lures too, but for some reason I had that picture in my head. But yeah, so whatever it is, find a project. Maybe there's a room in the house that you want to redecorate. Find something that you like to do, and then just bring Jesus with you in that project. Number 6, do Isaiah 58 with Jesus. Now, this is really good. We won't spend a lot of time in Isaiah 58, but I would encourage you to go to Isaiah 58, specifically verses 6 through 14. And this is about the true fast. Okay, Jesus is saying that he wants us to loose the bounds of wickedness. He wants us to undo heavy burdens. He wants us to help the oppressed go free and break every yoke. He wants us to share our bread with the hungry and those who are poor, to bring them in, to clothe the naked. And so I would really encourage you to read Isaiah 58. Ask Jesus, how do I walk this out in the time of the coronavirus? And do something. I mean, it could be even checking in with people via texting. I mean, you can literally, you know, undo heavy burdens on people by checking in with them, sending someone a letter. Maybe God will give you another creative idea of what you can do to fulfill Isaiah 58. But there's a lot that we can do even in this time of isolation to help others, okay? So I think that one will be really good. And then there's a lot of good things that will be coming from us walking out Isaiah 58. For example, in verse 8 it says, "Then your light shall break forth like the morning, and your healing shall come forth quickly." I just think that is just amazing. So if we do these things that God is asking, then there's going to be this promise that comes forward for us. And so I would check that out, okay? So like I said, there's, you can do Isaiah 58 with Jesus. That was number 6. So number 7 is bring Jesus with you on your grocery run. So as of now, pretty much the only place we can go to is the grocery store, right? Or the gas station. And when you are going to these places, I would really encourage you to be like, all right, God, when I'm in the store, how can I even show love in this store? I mean, I know I've got to keep my distance because that's what the nation is asking, but give me eyes for when I'm walking in the store. Is there someone that I can somehow bless? If nothing else, can I even just have soft eyes towards someone, or a smile, or saying a little joke to someone? Or maybe you see someone elderly and you can help them in some type of way. Maybe you find toilet paper and you don't need any more of it, but then you give it to someone else. Even asking them, hey, I've got an extra thing of toilet paper in my cart, but if you need it, I can give it to you. We can really practice what would be the word? I don't want to use the word selfishness, but that's the only word that's coming to my mind. But we can step into this type of like, I gotta get it all for me and my family and X, Y, and Z. And yes, we need to take care of our family and provide for ourselves. But let's go back to, what, the Israelites had to go through. I mean, when God gave them the manna, he said, just take what you need for one day. Now, I'm not saying when you go to the grocery store, just buy for one day. No, Jon and I buy for a week or two. But we already have enough toilet paper. We already have enough peanut butter. I love peanut butter. And so if there's only 1 or 2 on the shelf, I'm going to leave them for someone else. Now, when I need them, I'll grab them. But we can start to practice this way of God, help me not be too overbearing. Let me still be able to share in the midst of what's going on. I think that's huge. Guys, things are going to get more intense once the end times gets closer, okay? And I think this is really good practice. And so a person could even dialogue with the Lord, in the future, God, like if I am here, or if even my children are here, how do you want us to walk things out once it gets even more intense than this? Guys, I mean, very quickly, I mean, if we're here, there's going to be a time where the Antichrist is here. And there's going to be a time where we can only get food, most likely, if we get the mark of the beast. Now, this might be brand new info for you, but at least it's getting in you. But it does talk about how there will be this person who arises and he will eventually take over. We don't have to fear. We don't have to fear about that, but he will be taking over to a degree. And there'll be a time where, we are going to be told to get the mark of the beast to be able to get things that we need, but we are not to get the mark of the beast. Okay? Absolutely not. And so what are we going to do when it comes to a time where, we're going to need food, but we're actually may not be able to even go to the grocery stores to get food. So I would start to process with God, what does this look like for me and my family in the future? Now, this isn't going to be tomorrow or next week, you guys. I mean, a lot has to happen for the Antichrist is here and working. But it could be sooner than what we think. Anyways, I just opened a big can of worms, but that's okay. It's something for you to pray about. So, yes, on your way to the grocery store, all those things I just said, I would pray about it and think about it. All right, so number 8, create a prophetic journal or a special journal of all the God moments that have happened to you and all the encouraging words that God has said to you or maybe others have said to you. This is a little booklet that I've made of some things that Jesus has said to me. I have got a lot of Bible verses, and then the following pages are specifically words that God gave to me in dreams or through other people or whatnot. And this idea is coming through Jeremiah 30, chapter 30 of Jeremiah, verses 1 to 3. And in the midst of it, it says, write in a book for yourself all the words that I have spoken to you. So this was God speaking to Jeremiah. You know, God's like, Jeremiah, write in a book all the words I have spoken to you. Well, why can't we? I take this verse, I'm like, it's like God saying, Ashley, write in a book all the words I spoke to you. I'm like, that's a good idea. And so this has been very helpful. And we've got a lot of time on our hands. So reflect back to God moments, times that God spoke to you personally, things that people have shared to you that maybe God put on their heart to share with you something encouraging. Write these things out, because when we're in a hard time, when you look at these things that you wrote, they'll be very encouraging for you, okay? And so that's something you can do during this time. And then there's 2 more. These are a little bit more light. With number 9, bring Jesus with you when you watch a movie. So we're going to probably be watching some movies, and I would encourage you to bring him with you. And when you're watching the movie, yes, the movie, already happened, it might be a pretend, fake, not real story. But like when you're watching a movie, pray for people that could be going through whatever the character of the movie is going through. So what I mean by that is, like, I just watched Adopt a Highway the other day with Jon, and it's a very sweet movie, and this man got out of prison and he found a baby in a dumpster, and oh my gosh, and this man's he's a little broken, and I'm like, Jesus, I know this movie's not real, but men that are like that, men that got out of prison, help them, Jesus. People that find babies in dumpsters, oh Lord, oh my gosh, I'll just pray. Now, there's times that you might just want to watch the movie and, not do a lot of praying, but little prayers real quick throughout the movie. I've just found that I do that. And it keeps me, dwelling in the secret place, dwelling with God. Sometimes I'll watch The Voice or American Idol, and I'll do a quick prayer of Lord, let them know you. That one's really alive and active, because that's not a made up, that's really someone on TV, and so I'll pray for their salvation. A quick 1 little second prayer, Jesus, I pray for their salvation. And then I'll watch the show for the next 30 minutes or 40. I might not do a lot of praying in the next 30 or 40 minutes, but if something comes to your heart during a movie, do a quick prayer for that person or someone who could be in a similar situation as the movie you're watching, okay? And then the last one is go for a walk with Jesus. So get out of the house, keep your distance like the nation is asking from us, but go outside and then just talk with him, bring him with you. Be thankful when you're going for that walk and be like, wow, God, it's actually nice out and the sun's out, and thank you for spring, and thank you for the trees, and wow, that river, that's such a, God, that you're so creative when you made creation, just bring them with you in a walk. And that could be something else that you do with Jesus. So there you go, guys. Have a great day. Bye.